But no, but John said that, that there are efforts to be made to increase the NIL budget. And look, I said this a couple of weeks ago on the Big Spur on the message board that an SEC team needs to have a $5 to $6 million NIL budget every year to be competitive. You just got to have it. And I got a lot of questions about it, and I got a lot of people saying like that's ridiculous, but there are $5 and $6 million players out there right now. And I'm not saying that South Carolina can drop $5 million, $6 million on a Cooper Flag and get him, because there's another team out there that can drop $4 million is going to play for a national championship. So I mean, you weigh it out.
Yeah, and when you're talking about the transfer portal, you have the NIL factor of it, but you also just have the finding the right pieces factor of it too. You saw that last year with Talon Cooper; he was the perfect fit for Lamont Paris's offense or system as a point guard. You had obviously Michi, who was the perfect fit, and then BJ being that stretch five who could go and shoot the three, but also have some success under the rim. It's just a lot about finding the right pieces. And we've said this, and I've said this, we've said this 1,000 times. It's just there's been so many different things with this team this year that have not worked out, that have led to some of the struggles that they've had. And it's just something that when you look at it, obviously for one, you got to credit the team because they haven't shown any quit. I mean, they continue to fight. In Florida, they were in that game for the first half, and then Florida just got some early success offensively in that second half, and it kind of got away from them. But they continue to fight, and you see no reason why they can't find what use the blueprint of what they did last year and turn it into success next year.
And I agree with you. And look, if the budget's really going to increase, and my personal take on this, and I don't know for sure, and I've told Alex this, I've talked to other people about it. The number that I've heard is 1.8-ish. That's how much money was spent on this basketball team. I'm trying my best to confirm it, but I've talked to 2 or 3 people, and the average is 1.8. And these are 2 or 3 people that would know. But I've heard that it should be a sizable jump next year. And it needs to be a sizable jump next year. Not because, oh my gosh, the Gamecocks need, a $5 million player to be competitive. Like I can tell you right now, Gigi Jackson did not get $5 million to come to South Carolina. Didn't get 1.8. I mean, the number was much lower. And he had some unique situations, unique situation where he reclassified. A lot of teams are full. I mean, he probably would have gone to North Carolina if he had stayed in his class. But anyway, long story short, they need $4 to $5 million. And I do believe that if Lamont Paris is able to get $4 to $5 million and he can target the right guys, like Alex is talking about, the guys that buy in, and, it needs to be very similar to Shane Beamer and the way he handles NIL. You get the right players at the right price, and it's not the basement. It's not bargain shopping, Alex. We've talked about that. It's what does this team need?
Yeah, and you saw, again, I keep saying the same thing, but you saw that last year. It was the perfect pieces for that team. And it's just I think when you look to see what they can do next year, obviously they're going to need to find, a point guard. You think they're going to need a guard. Obviously you got Eli Ellis coming in, but maybe you want to find that veteran guard to pair with him. And there's going to be a few other pieces that they may need, but it's going to be an interesting offseason. Obviously there's still a stretch of games here through the regular season and into the SEC tournament, but it's going to be a big offseason for South Carolina.
Yeah, and you just kind of hope that the money's there. That's all I can say. And I'm not going to get into why did South Carolina lose to Florida. Y'all watched it. You saw it. It's 12 games now. We're not going to break down each individual game. And here's the other thing really quick, Alex. I know the game is about to start, so we got to go. But if you're Lamont Paris and you've proven that you can win if you get dudes that fit your system, can you imagine being the person that's okay, I'm the operations guy at this company. I make sure everything runs smoothly. We have a good product. We make sure that the sales, when someone sells something, the product goes out the door. And then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, we're not going to pay you any more money, but you need to go sell now too and still do your same job. And I'm not saying Lamont hasn't been, great with boosters. He's great with anybody that talks to him. But this is a different landscape. You have Coach K, the greatest coach of all time, Jim Boeheim, who wanted to coach until he was 90, Tony Bennett. You have all these guys that have won national championships stepping away because of NIL. And look, Gamecock fans want to have a successful basketball program. I was actually thinking about this, Alex. Going back to Eddie Fogler, and that's about as far as I can go. I'm 36 years old. Eddie Fogler won an SEC regular season championship, a 2 seed and a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. Darren Horn he co-won an SEC East Conference championship. Then you go to Frank Martin, who went to the Final Four. Then you go to Lamont Paris, who made it to the NCAA tournament with a roster that had no business getting there. You can have success at South Carolina. It's the same conversation we've had for a long time about the football team being a sleeping giant. Get the right players, the right coach. The fans are going to be there. It's going to be awesome. Basketball is the same thing. So, Alex, we've talked a lot about a lot of things tonight, and I think it was a really good episode because it's a break for us from doing recruiting and football, and I'm actually enjoying not talking about football because baseball season is one of my favorite things to talk about. I love being able to just throw a baseball game on, lay on the couch, look at my phone, still be able to pay attention. So excited for baseball. And obviously, baseball is just kicking up.
And football
tonight
will be here before you know it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk football here soon. I guess we'll be forced to. But and look, when we start talking football, we don't stop talking football through January. February,
it's year round. It's year round.
It's kind of like when and this is a great analogy. JB and Phil were talking about today. In NASCAR back in the day, you already knew who won the championship with a couple races left. You're still pulling for your guy. So Gamecock fans still need to pull for their guy, and their guy is their team. The turnover bug has hit them this year. You can't turn the ball over on the road. It's interesting to me, though, Alex, that in conference play, South Carolina has the worst offensive efficiency in the conference. Just go ahead and win the rest of them. Go get a win in the SEC tournament and see what happens. And, maybe get an IT berth. Who the heck knows? But it is an opportunity. Israel is right. I'm going to put this up here. Tonight is an opportunity. We'll be watching the game. We'll be talking about the game next week. Alex, we'll have to send a message out. Let me just do it really quick. It'll be easier. The Gamecocks next week play on Tuesday. Oh no, they play on Tuesday on the road against Missouri. That game is scheduled for 9 p.m. Alex and I we'll look at the schedule. Alex he's crazy busy right now having to cover in all these sports. I don't know if Tuesday or Wednesday there's a baseball game that's home that you're going to be covering, but
we could probably do Tuesday. I think that we can put that in pencil right now that we could do Tuesday.